Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and here we are on a beautiful day, Thursday afternoon. And the irony of this moment was just sitting in with me. I actually have the intentions of keeping this stream relatively short with the idea of going to support Jesse Howe on his birthday interview on his channel over on the missing link, and it starts in about an hour. So I may drop that link a little bit later, but the ironic part is that I'm really deliberating having a panel. I probably will drop the link for those of you who are already here, but blessings to you guys, sincerely. What's up, Cynthia? I see you going around and sharing encouragement, and Provo Planet, you as well, man. There's a lot of good people around here. The thumbnail today was about conversations. The best ideas start as conversations. Communication. It's what we've been kind of talking about loosely on some of these recent panels, especially communicating between people. It's a challenge, but it's also a gift. It's an opportunity for us to learn, to grow in ourselves, to grow in our own nature, knowledge, from sharing and understanding the experiences of others, and then growing in relationships, building friendships and trust, those things are pretty important. Today, I noticed, let me also recognize part of my deliberation today is the fact that I don't know all that's going on, but I know if Paulie's still streaming over on Proper Instruction Motivates People, well, then there's some of there's some of the viewers who typically find their way here, but then also a surprise over the recent, was that yesterday or today? Ian from We Are Awake is streaming over on his channel today. So, you know what? Hey, let me drop it. Blessings be. There is the link for those who wish to join the conversations. See, I did have some inspirations today, and regardless, today oh man. I received some contact from someone from my past just out of the blue, and then some information that I'm still processing. Hey, Cynthia, how are you, my friend?
I'm well, Jack, and I'm super excited. I'm just up here super quick because I wanted to share with you something about my day. Because when we had this conversation, you're the first person that came to mind. I've been going through rehab since the car wreck for my back and everything, and so this is like my seventh car wreck. Every single one of them is somebody rear-ended me, so it's never been my fault. But I've gone to this doctor before, so we've built up a relationship over the years, and he's a Christian, and so we always talk about biblical things. And so today he asked me, he's like, "Hey, how are the panels going that you're sitting on YouTube?" And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of hard, Sometimes when you're a Christian and you believe in God, people have a lot of judgment on you." And so we started talking, and he was like, he told me a story that his dad made him start praying that he could see people through God's eyes and not his eyes. And I was like, man, okay, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And then he said, yeah, because everybody thinks I'm an infidel. Never in my life has a Christian ever said that to me. Not one person in my life has ever said that to me. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, that's funny you say that because they call me that a lot. He's like, yeah, we're all infidels. And he just walked out of the office, and I was thinking, okay, Lord, I'm going to start asking to see things through your eyes and not my eyes anymore. And I said, I have to let Jack know This has to be something that is going to encourage him. Like when people come up and try to talk to you, and sometimes you say that it kind of upsets you. So just look at it through God's eyes and just receive it. I wanted to share it with you. I thought that you would enjoy that nugget there.
Cynthia, I absolutely love the synchronicity that God reveals to us.
Right.
And, there's scriptures that do support that. The pure see God, right? It's there's others. I that's where I'm still improving is my memory of the specific words of the scripture. I
But
know there is power in that.
absolutely. And like I tell you, you know how your tribe always comes, like when you need words of encouragement, like infidel, like who just uses that word every day? So when he said that, I was like, okay, I hear you, Lord. I'm not, because at first I was like, shut up, you don't know the people I'm talking to. But when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, the conviction I felt. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try harder. You try harder too, Jack. Let's encourage each other to try harder. That'll be our code. Are you looking at them through God's eyes? That'll be our code. Anywho, I'm gonna make the rounds. I will definitely see you over at Jesse's. I'm excited for that. And you have a wonderful life. Bye.
Cynthia, bless you and thank you so much. Um, he said a lot that hey, that magic, the infidel thing, I'm sure that was God get just bringing your experience into your mind so that you're like, pay attention. And that message, Cynthia, I love that message. It's something I've practiced that in myself, but it's logical, honestly, right? If you really, really humble yourself and using logic to what has been given to us by a divine intelligence, like creator, God. So it's by God's grace that we awaken to the day each day. And it's by God's grace that we rest our heads, hopefully on a pillow at night. Um, it really is by God's grace we are. By God's grace I am. This is what I've been reminding myself. By God's grace I am. I didn't create this body. It was birthed through my mother and my father. I understand the biology of this, but there's a divine intelligence, the creator that created this. And so this body is just borrowed, right? Our bodies are borrowed from Mother Earth, right? From the soil, because our bodies become like from food. So we're borrowed and we return to dust. So our bodies are borrowed from Mother Earth. Um, Everything is created by God. So this is God's earth, God's sun. This is God's body that I'm walking around in. So by God's grace, I can see the world through God's eyes. And each of us have our limitations on what God allows us to see conceptually, to know. It's our consciousness within us that brings the awareness and the meaning to all things. But there is a divine consciousness, the one of the Father. And this was my inspiration earlier today. I was blessed to have fellowship with a nice man from town. I got to share a meal with somebody, and it was beautiful. And on the way there, traveling down the road, and I'm not driving anything fancy. It's like 2008 Camry hybrid. Not driving, I was traveling down the road. In such comfort, such ease, such peace. And some beautiful music playing on the radio. It's just like, thank you, God. Praise be for this moment, this here and now. Thank you so much, God. And then I invite, thank you, Jesus, for allowing me to know the path to the Father. And, as he said, as Jesus said, it was his prayer, as he and the Father were one, that we would become one with him. And so we become one with, well, my prayer was to invite the Spirit of Christ to join me as I enjoy my day by the grace of God, and I empty myself of my purpose, my whatever. I allow things to flow, and I invite the Spirit of Christ to be with me, to fill me, so that my desires are God's desires, and my desires are kept pure by the thought that the Christ is with me, that the loving awareness is always present. It is always available in the present. I love you guys. I'm taking a break here because I dropped some, hopefully, I understand that my personality, I'm kind of an intellectual type. I like to analyze, and I know I talk a lot. But I'm trying to describe an experience which is unlike anything I'd thought possible, to be honest. This feeling of peace and just, oh my gosh, it is just a pleasure to be alive. And it's not due to anything special outside of me. As a matter of fact, without complaint, I don't know, did I mention this earlier? 2 weeks from today, my son will be turning 21. And last night, someone from my past, with energies that did not feel kind, shared me some information about my son that I'm still trying to process and understand. So, Hank, thank you, brother. Hey, I appreciate and respect what I saw there. Thank you so much, Hank. I really did appreciate that suggestion and tip. Pine Creek, it's another channel on YouTube. As I understand, though, he is I don't know, I don't want to use the wrong words. As I understand, he identifies himself as an atheist. So I joined his panel for a little bit, and it was nice. It was civil and very very pointed conversations. So where was I going? Oh, the idea I had today, right? What's his name? The big funny guy. Not TBE, EBT. EVT hit me up some time ago about the question of the Trinity, and I've been pondering that in the back of my mind for quite a while. The Trinity, if you can just bring it into this concept for the mind, body, and spirit, the spirit being the essence, personality, the what we present. Mind, body, and spirit, the spirit that moves us, the spirit of desire, the spirit of creativity, the spirit of commitment, devotion, those things. Well, I'm bringing in spirit and will, perhaps. Regardless, let me try to uncomplicate this. The mind, body, and the spirit. Our body is always here and now. That's where our heart is, right? Our heart is always here and now. Our brain and our mind and our spirit is with our body. Our spirit speaks through our body. It moves us. And so our mind, that is where the spiritual battle is. That's where the gateway is. Fear and faith. They fear and faith. It's like one or the other. That's not true. Everything is layers and layers and subtleties. But fear and faith exist through the mind, and the mind is where the vastness is, right? The heavenly realm to be explored. We can go beyond the limits of time and space. We can go wherever we want in our mind. But where that mind goes, where that focus of our awareness travels, right? That's like the third eye concept. And I don't fully understand that, but the idea of your eye of awareness, what your mind is focusing on, that is where your spirit is going to connect your body. There's a reason I'm explaining all these things, okay? Go within and check your feelings, okay? Sense how you are feeling, right? And then with your awareness on your feelings and your senses, then use the mind to bring you into the now. And if you're if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling angry and you're sitting in a room all alone, you're detached. Okay, you're detached from your reality. And it's real easy to do in this world we live in. Brothers and sisters, we live in a pretend world, like billionaires and authority and all this crap that keeps us divided. Everyone's pretending those differences make a difference. Those distinctions make a difference. So we're living in a pretend world where it appears real people are dying. I'm just not sure that's what is right. Because I went through a lot and I left out an important point. Our mind and our body, right? Our body and our spirit are always present. God, our creator, the spirit, the essence of knowledge and intelligence that moves us, that intelligence is always in the present. It's revealed to us in the present. We experience the all that is in the now. Okay, so it's up to us. We got to train our minds, retrain our minds, actually uncondition yourself. Allow yourself to detach from what you think you knew, what you think mattered, and surrender to God, right? Rest in God, in you, in the present. And through practice, I guess, I don't know what is right, through seeking, invite the loving spirit, the divine spirit, the pure spirit, the all-knowing spirit, invite that to join you, you, in the moment with God, right? That, I believe, is what Jesus was trying to teach. He was of loving mind, knew whatever he knew, but living in the present. And he accepted the path that the Father revealed for him. I don't know. All I know is we're supposed to do better. There is a part of us that is without sin, and it's available right now. There's a loving God who is there for us, with us. It is us. We are children of God here. This world was given to us, right? There's a creator, created nature, and civilization happened. Here we are. Okay. So the past is the past. The today is today, whatever day it is that you see me. And the future is ours to create. I believe this is, well, it just makes sense. This stuff I'm saying is from experience and from a lot of time thinking and listening to others, learning. I've been blessed with opportunities to detach from the world, to live in the world but not of it, to become free of worry, free of fear, free of unfulfilled desires. Brothers and sisters, there's your freedom right there. Freedom from unfulfilled desires. Doesn't mean you can have everything you want. It means you establish the control and the practice to be grateful for all that you have and be grateful for all that you do not. And then peace is found. It is our opinions. It's our opinions that keep us from enjoying God's perfection. God's perfection is the moment. God's perfection is you in the moment. It is us, because we are the moment that is. And it is from this moment of today, brothers and sisters, that our future is going to be revealed. And it's my belief that if we get out of our own ways, right? When we stop allowing our fears to hold us, our imagined fears to hold us back, when we stop making excuses instead of solving problems, life feels good. Oh man, LIG just came to my mind there. Life is good. I feel good. Good things are always happening to me. And hey, for any who are interested, willing, feel free. The link is pinned to the top, and I think all are welcome. I'm in a very chill state, although, like I said, I do not intend to really run too long. The reminder I wanted to offer today, though, besides possibly building ideas, actually, and I'll come back to the topic, I can address that specifically anyway. But I tell you what, if you can accept the practice of surrender and gratitude, surrender to the moment, right? Surrender to the right now, at any now that is available, right? If you can surrender to that, be still and know. Be still and know that God is with you. Be still and know that good is available. Good is in the future. Good is available. As it said, the pure shall, to the pure, they say, I don't know. I used to have a bunch of these up. I have not been close to your spine, Thomas, even though that was a while ago. And this is where, Manel, yes. Our body is a divinely created temple to host the spirit, the loving spirit of the Christ. Or we can hold the spirit of anger, we can hold the spirit of resentment, we can hold the spirit of regret and shame and all sorts of crap we want to feel. We can feel whatever we want. And brothers and sisters, you want freedom? You want freedom? Use your logic and reasoning and convince yourself that you can do anything you want. You can start with the logical conclusion that the things you're doing each day, the routine you've established, you wanted to do that at some point. At some point, you made the choice to be, the all these ideas come up in the relationships you're in. At some point, you wanted to be in a relationship with the job, with the person, with the substance, with the behavior. At some point, you wanted that relationship. Accept responsibility that you have the freedom to do what you want within the limits that are real, but don't let the imagined limits hold you back. Hey, Smith, this is what I was thinking too. I think Ian and I share. What is StreamYard? A little slow there. I think Ian and I share similar energies, and so he's better at this production stuff, and some of the stuff I say triggers people. They're I don't know. I'm improving in my abilities to communicate, and I am prayerful for peace to be known on this earth, for people to know peace within themselves, and so then they can share peace, share support for others, so others may feel peace. Because there's a lot of shit going on in this world, and there's a lot of people who are feeling alone. And a lot of times when people feel alone, then they feel desperate. And when they feel desperate, well, then they don't care. When they don't care, that's when they get fucking dangerous. And I'd love us to live in a more peaceful, safe world. Imagine the future, right? Imagine the future of peace, where humanity around the world lived without the fears of economic debts or debts in general, without the fears of looking over your shoulder, worried about someone's revenge, without the fear of conflicts, without the fear of fear. Brothers and sisters, the world without fears is available. Remember, faith and fear, they are both logical conclusions. And so our limited minds will jump to conclusions. We won't stop and think things through. That's my greatest advice, and that's something I've not really spoken about. Think your thoughts through, please. When you do your own interrogation, do your own censorship within your mind, before it goes from here out the mouth, please think your thoughts through. What I mean by that is if you come to a conclusion or a disagreement or maybe even a question, think your thought through. Is it relevant? Is it related to the meaning, or is it just something that's preventing an understanding? Because this world we live in, yeah, prophets, dads, they make, I'm doing the air quotes too weird, but supposedly they make logical sense. Prophets and dads are results of selfishness. And brothers and sisters, we are not selfish by nature. Well, that may be untrue. Because in the early stages, there is patterns of selfishness. However, as we grow in maturity as social beings, selfishness is not healthy. I believe we are generous. I believe most people recognize the good that they feel by giving. I think most people do recognize that we're made to share. We're made to serve the world. And so how about think that thought through? I'm tying in the story of Jesus, but he's not the only story. He's just the perfect one. He's the ideal realization. All the pieces came together between the prophecies, the example, the teachings. It's all amazing. I started with this for a reason, and why did I even bring this up? I was going to discuss. Oh, I love you guys. Selfishness think the thought through regarding the example of the Christ. Okay, so as if you tie the story loosely, please, loosely so you understand. If you tie the story that God, the infinite creator of the universe and cosmos, came into human form for the purposes of allowing us the opportunity to know the creator, to know the Father. So here's the Son here on earth, created, the divine, perfectly created example of us, of people. So what did his teachings show us? Well, he was honest, he was fearless, he was faithful, he was caring, he was generous of himself, died for the greater good of humanity, gave his life, said, okay, as much as I love living, I'll die so that others can know. So they say. So it's said. I don't know what is true. I don't even know if I'm real. So I might be AI, but I feel real. So I feel real good, man. I feel real good. Where was I going? Oh, so Jesus, in the example from God for us to learn of God, was here to serve. Holy cows, what a concept. Maybe we're not here to serve God, but maybe God's here to serve us. Or maybe it's an exchange. Maybe we're here to serve each other. Wouldn't that be an interesting concept? If each of us was created for the purposes of sharing the blessings from God with each other, meaning all that we have grown through our time. I mean, what if that was our purpose, to serve the world? That's how I've been trying to live, consciously trying to serve others. without worry about myself, without really a lot of care about myself, but I do. I do the minimal care of myself, but I live to serve the world where I may. And you know what? It feels good. Feels good to feel good. And Austin, you should feel good about that, man. Painted a house all day, chopped up a cord of wood. Blessings, brother. Thank you for checking in. All is well. And, you know, there is something to be said about the feeling from a hard day's work, a good day's work. Knowing that you put in some effort, that some work was done, there was some realized results from the efforts. I believe there's an inner guidance system within us. It's a natural, like technology. The body is our technology for life. Your body, this body, our body is a technology for us to experience this time at this place. So, the way I think we're going to change the world is when more people start trying. And there's a lot of people out there working hard, trying to serve others, trying to change the world, trying to find their way. As am I. As am I. Because I'm confident, guys, brothers and sisters. See, I try not to do the guys, and I don't know. Lots of critics on what we say. Let me bring this back around, and then we'll come to the building ideas. Building ideas. Within us, the biological technology that we have been graced to use. You know, we hear the world through God's ears, see the world through God's eyes, feel the world through a body divinely created just for you. It's amazing when you look at things, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer said that. Helped me change my life, man. I finally started accepting I wasn't so worthless. Praise God, man. I started focusing my time and energy on building my own self-worth, trying to become more worthy to myself and to do more than I'd accomplished in the past. Holy cows, man. I'm still working on growing my worthiness. So, praise be. Where was I going? I'm sorry. I'm enjoying this. I don't want to be wasteful of your time. Um, Building ideas. A lot of times life can bring us to these situations where either we're feeling a lack, we're feeling unsatisfied. How about that? You know, feel like you're just going through the motions each day. It's kind of a tedium, a chore to do what you're doing. Don't allow yourself to suffer through boredom when you are a child of God here in the kingdom of God, created for you to explore as a student of life, as a professor of your lessons, I guess. Sometimes it's hard to, it may seem hard to find ideas that can change your way of living, more happiness, more health, more freedom, more whatever it is you seek. Brainstorming ideas. I shared this elsewhere. There is something magical about the power of the pen individually, bringing the confusion of our mind out into written words. Get it on a sheet of paper in front of you and get the mechanisms of your body authoring, taking ownership of what's in your mind. This is where I'm bouncing around topics here, but I hope this is helpful. But this is where the practice of journaling can be very helpful, because once we get these thoughts and feelings, these unformed forms, thoughts and feelings, they can move us and control us. Once we get those out of our mind onto paper, you have a different perspective on what you've been repeating in your head, but from a different perspective. It truly helps. Okay. And I encourage each of you to spend a little time for your future in the present. Each day is a day for you to reassess. What do you want in your future? What are you spending your time today? How are you spending your time today for what you want in the future? I think if each of us start to become, and I think it's happening, people are learning in many different ways, and the knowledge is being shared. As people become more purposeful and intentional in their day-to-day life, at the same time allowing themselves to surrender and to embrace the spiritual opportunity that life is. If we find a way to balance the essence of spirituality, of love and service, balance that with purposeful and intentional living, holy cows, man, this world is going to transform like that. Get a bunch of intentional people with the purpose of bringing transformative change towards the society, the communities, the world. Bring some purposeful people together at this time on earth, man. We're at a turning point, a tipping point. I know there's a right word for it. It's escaping me. All time is now, though. I'm sharing that perspective, trying to communicate that perspective to one of my friends, my friend I had lunch with today. He identifies himself as a Christian, wondering when the rapture is going to happen. When the 7-year tribulation is going to be. All time is now. We are only now. So let's take actions today. What can we do? What can we do for the future? What can we do to share? What can we do for each other today? I mean, each of us, we are living our own unique lives, but if you can have faith that now has been perfectly aligned, all of the past, all of everything from the past brought you and I perfectly to this moment of today. And today and right now is the evidence of the Creator, the evidence of life and the universe. It's being experienced and witnessed through you and me. And so if the evidence of God is now, and that God is omnipresent, eternal, God is here with us. And with that is also the divine intention of a man and woman. A man and woman, a human being, a being of light and form and love. And we are multidimensional. We are eternal spirits experiencing mortality together. And this is the place where our mind and our hearts can become separated. It's amazing. The two most important tools that a man or a woman receives, their mind and their heart. And yet there's a path and the free will. We can separate those things. We can choose to do things we know are not right. Brothers and sisters, I encourage each of you to stop allowing excuses to live in your life. Don't allow yourself to do the things you know aren't right. And you know what's not right. You know how the golden rule. We can treat each other as though there is a divine presence that's within each of us. We're not here to worship each other or worship this religion of economics. Let's face it, that is what is truly the worldwide religion, is economics, this banking system. It's the economic system that drives the government system, which drives the judicial system, which... Holy cows, brothers and sisters, the history and how we got to here, it makes perfect sense. It really does. All the infiltration of the secret society, building these transformational pillars around the world. It makes a lot of sense. But what also makes sense truly to me is that this is our lifetime. Should there be a man named Jesus to return and rule, let's get started. Let's get started towards bringing a world more worthy. Well, this is what I was talking about in yesterday's stream. From Mark Passio, that's where I'd heard it most clearly. Freedom and morality are intertwined. The less moral the community is, the more crime, the more violence. Guess what? The less freedom, because then there's going to be more policing, more enforcement. So morality and freedom are intertwined. If our city was true, if our nation was truly a nation of people with morals, our tax dollars would not be funding militarization and wars. If we truly embraced morality, we would not have fellow human beings sleeping in the streets, or, as I've heard, millions are reported today on this day that you and me were all sharing comfortably and peacefully and gratefully. While we are sharing this day today, there are other beings like us with food scarcity. They lack the opportunity, resources, or ability to have a meal. And I live in America, where food and resources are just filling fucking landfills every day. Praise God, man. See, there's my judgment. Welcome, Tommy. Remember, kind and loving, please. How are you?
Hey, man, that's me a lot of the time. I would have spared you my presence if a wrench down there. I said, "Are you going to wrench me for staying in YouTube policy speak?" She said, "No." I got wrenched. So I figured I might as well come up and express that. But this, she took offense at me saying this. But when you mentioned your Christian friend you had lunch with, I'm a Christian that doesn't. I used to, but I no longer subscribe to this concept of a rapture. Um, I wondered what your opinion was on that. And I'm not going to
Um,
take up your show. I'm not going to take over. But while I was up here, I don't buy into that anymore. I've found most of the passages they go to about it don't seem to be talking about what we say the rapture is.
mhm. Brother, thank you. I like this question, and I think it's a good topic because I don't know, but I lean with you. And recently, I've seen there's a channel, Truth Unedited. Have you? I don't know if you've seen that. He does animated presentations of
No, I'll check
biblical.
it out. I'll
He's
check it out.
I've got disagreements with some of his presentations, but what he offered on the rapture was a historical presentation of how that idea came into the mainstream. And I don't remember it specifically at this point, but it made sense that it was
Yeah,
fab. Go ahead.
I can see where it can be part of the delusion too, because the way the end times would have like non-believers, all that jazz. If everybody's heard about the rapture all their life, even atheists and such, if suddenly every friend you knew that talked about going to church or seemed Christian, if they all just disappeared on the same day, how would you have very many non-believers at that point?
Exactly. The logic behind that didn't make a lot of sense to me either.
Unless, of course, they set up some kind of Project Bluebeam. I guess the aliens took them or something like that. But I don't even think people would. I don't know. It's weird. But
There's
and I can't cite the Bible passages. I've watched a couple YouTubes on it where there's Christians that still push the rapture concept and Christians against it. And after watching a lot of different views, I think I lean more toward not buying into. Like, I don't think you can lose your salvation from not buying into the rapture concept, but I can see where the confusion can be advantageous to the Dark Lord. And
I would
also, let's say you were a Christian, right? And if there's a false rapture, oh, well, now your faith is diminished because you think that was the rapture and you obviously didn't get taken. So now are you going to just go against God because you believe there was a rapture and you weren't part of it? Um, there was even an HBO series called The Leftovers where they had a rapture type event. And I'm not sure if I ever caught all the seasons, but they didn't really go biblically. I mean, they had that as part of it, like church people, cults that were like, if that was the rapture, why am I still here? Like there was even a pastor where his entire family got taken, but he was still here. And they went a lot of ways with it because HBO does crank out some good stuff, but
well,
it didn't focus solely on that concept.
I hey, actually, I'm debating on this one. There's times Tommy crosses the line, but for the most part, Tommy has been a pretty. No, you know what, Tommy, you're hit and miss here with me, aren't you?
I am a
I don't know where you
habitual line
stand.
approacher, but the only I will say with confidence in this situation that I addressed, it's just because Manel has been countered by me on too many panels, too many times, and she brought those feelers
Hey,
into.
sorry, back to
Yeah, get back on subject.
shoot. I lost my train of thought. Just a moment, Tom.
And I was
Well,
being confusing on the rapture thing.
oh, the
But
rapture.
okay, go ahead. I lose thoughts too.
Well, I have my own ideas on the rapture and the meanings. It's all kind of intertwined, and it goes with the concept of. I mean, it can go with or not with the concept of all is now, all time is now. It's always now, and we're this timeline of experience, but what happens, we'll find out, I guess. But the rapture, you know, the term to be enraptured, to be raised up into the experience, to be enthralled, to be lifted out of, to be, dude, that's, you can do that in meditation.
That's
And
your bliss concept you've talked about.
yeah, yeah. And when you raise your mind in, when you become blissful, you're out of the world, you're in an eternal state, because you're not, are you with time or are you out of time? Your time is irrelevant. And guys, the words that Jesus were teaching, they're much more simple than people have been led to believe, but it's by God's design. It's our minds. Our minds. Here, back to the topic. I'm sorry.
Well,
The
you were
the
saying earlier
rapture.
about I I want to respectfully push back on the ownership of what goes on in our minds or our thoughts. I can't remember exactly how you said it because I've described many times on panels. My mind just has all kinds of stuff flowing into it, and it's more like I'm yaying or naying what goes through. So I don't take ownership of stuff that's just popping in indiscriminate of my decision. I'm taking ownership of, do I let that leave my mouth? Do I let that be my action? But I'm always getting things in my mind that I'm like, that's not me. I don't want that there at all.
I think
Like
I got.
I wouldn't be judged, but I don't think God would judge me on every little thing that's flowed through my mind,
Oh,
especially that I didn't act on it or express it or follow through with it. I think that
I
has to
think.
go with the sin nature of our wretchedness.
Well, yes, this gets into an interesting topic of God's judgment. We are within the mind of God, sharing the mind of God. We just have limitations on our awareness. So the judgment of God is always with us. It's us
Mm,
that carries the guilt, carries the resentment,
well, the
and the
guilt is,
confusion.
I think the guilt is to show that we ate of the knowledge of good and evil. And so
Mm.
it's,
It teaches us.
there's rarely times you can deny realizing that you were doing the wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
why would he judge us if we didn't have some kind of uh, compass of polarity for right and wrong?
true. And that's why we're here. We are here to grow and experience. The experience grows our learning, right? And with more knowledge, here's where we'll tie it back to the topic. Building ideas. Ideas come from knowledge, it comes from experience. And we don't have the time to learn and to experience everything on our own, but there's other people. And if we can listen to their experience, if we can hear and understand what they've learned, you know, you don't take it as though what works for someone else is automatically for you, but you incorporate, you keep building your knowledge, gaining different perspectives, and your ideas start to grow. I don't remember how I got us to ideas, but that was the topic. Sorry for
Hey, don't, I mean, I respect that you pick a topic and do it, but don't beat yourself up because some of the best panel talks, it's just, I mean, any conversations with people, it's just that where does it go from here? And some luck lies in not getting the topic that you title because when the panel gets to where it goes, you may find it was the topic you would have picked had you known. I said it better the first time about the receiving what you don't want. But you get what I'm saying, right?
I think I do, Tom. I
Right.
do. Hey, part of my idea, I'm feeling complete, actually. don't take that into the wrong realm, but I feel whole. I feel as though my purpose for this has been shared. I was curious.
Complete, I couldn't have went a raunchy path with. Whole, there I could have went raunchy. Hey, did you welcome Ian back?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was nice to see. I like Ian. But hey, I am curious what's going to happen in the future. I still do have faith. I have faith that people can change and transform. What I'm seeing with Ian and Z and several others in different ways is these I will never. And I'm just laughing.
Mm-hmm. Every time you state your plans, God has a good laugh.
Yep. And so, hey, Tom, I think you've done this. I learned this and I do it well. We've got to
It was
be
just
able
one
to
time in
laugh.
college, and I was on a lot of drugs, but let's not talk about it.
No, I'm saying we got to be able to laugh at ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
It's we get so worked up on what we think is important, or all these different ideals and stuff. Hey, welcome, Flo.
I told you you were incomplete.
You bring like the adversarial, disagreeable energy for me. I appreciate you, brother.
But only the friendliest
I know.
disagreeability.
Amen.
So we can wizard that. He said he's in completeness. So he's complete. He's in the complete.
I don't know.
That's how I feel about half-word wizards fucking rants. It's like, whatever.
I feel that way about all of them because there's no consistency to when he chooses to use what meaning, right? Like if you've got the etymology of a word, you can choose from any sort of meaning or derivative for the past 1,000 years.
And he also showed himself up. He recently claimed outright, "Oh, I'm not Christian." And I was like, exactly. All this time you've been beating people over the head with that KJV. I knew you weren't. And now you finally said it. And now I feel that weight off of my shoulders.
Yeah, even though I'm not Christian, I do find it particularly scuzzy when people fake Christianity and then sort of abuse the Bible to manipulate people.
That's what the Book of Eli movie was about. That's why he wanted that book.
I don't remember
Usually
that.
I follow that up with doing my impression of Gary Oldman raging about why he wants that book, but I'll spare you.
I'm sure it's a good impression, though.
And you've seen that movie, right?
Not in years. I mean, I have seen it,
Good
but it's been a
movie.
long time.
I mean, the only beef I'd troll with it is, yeah, it's got a twist ending, and if you haven't seen it by now, sorry, not sorry, spoiler alert. But Denzel only goes through the movie looking at things, and then at the end, it's like, ooh, that was crazy about at the end. But come on, I've watched it more than once, specifically to watch him look at things all through the movie.
That came out about the same time as Man on Fire, which is one of the best movies of all time.
That's a good movie. Denzel's just good actor, picks good movies.
He is good, but Man on Fire in particular, I don't know why.
Sorry, Jack, did you say you were done with your title? Are we ruining this?
Yeah, kind of.
Because I thought you were getting that wrap it up vibes there for a second.
I was.
But
so you were done.
Yeah.
He's got
Jack,
the content, peaceful, I'm ready to wrap up vibes. So
right, and because we came in at the close, Jack, if you wanted, you could roll this and then just chop that part off when you post it.
I don't care. I'm loving you guys.
I'll translate. He doesn't know how to do that, but it's okay.
I know, I understood. I speak Talcott.
That too. I know I could figure it out. I just really I don't have that desire. And actually, I have given thought. There's a lot of good clippable stuff that has been shared from me and this panel, and I haven't done anything with it.
I have a lot of clips I go about, and whenever you hit the lottery or something, I could payroll something like that.
Tommy's
I'm
the
past
lore
my
master. He's
voluntary.
probably got all the clips.
Well, I have filled a hard drive with shit I still haven't done stuff with, but I know it's there. But there's some stuff I talk about that I'd rather not use, because when I make threats of hit pieces, it's kind of like a low-key way of like, don't be like this, and if they don't, it spares me that hit piece. But if they lean into it, it's like, oh, I'm making that hit piece. And it's because, to quote my, at one time, home base channel I had chosen, we would be remiss if we didn't show what we see. And I still agree with that, even though they turned on it. What is
Hey,
this?
let me.
Rumble and Does this say Rumble and Thanksgiving?
No,
It's not up on my big screen yet. Sorry.
It he restreams on Rumble on a bunch of different.
Oh,
He does good.
oh, now it's popping up on the big screen. I see it.
I want to touch on this with what Axis said a little bit ago. The past, in this world we live in, it's true. You can't put an idea into action without some fuck stealing it. Our society has grown accustomed to selfishness, and this idea of stealing it for selfishness, it's absolutely true. People do, but what if we're just here to share ideas? That's what I'm trying to do, is share ideas freely. I've invested money. I've invested a lot of money in learning what I've learned, but I believe in sharing knowledge freely so that we can create a better world. And this,
Yeah, there's that. But if you do have like a $1 million idea, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a good idea to pay the bills, you definitely want to be careful. Like if you were about to go on Shark Tank tomorrow and you shared your idea on your panel tonight, you might have screwed yourself, That's just how
right.
people are.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, that's
But
kind of.
Go ahead.
Well, I heard Paulie badmouthing me earlier on his stream about the contradiction, and I've actually tried pointing it out, the contradiction, the irony that, yeah, I found my way into investing in trademarks. Something I never thought I would do, but logically it makes sense at this time in this structure of the world. But my
I'm
goal,
interested. I've invested in markets and digital coins. I've never considered or explored the trademark investing. What's that all about?
well, the
It's
idea
like
that
web pages. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, what
Is that
was
like
that?
the thing whenever web pages came out and some people just started grabbing everything they thought
Right.
would be used? So you're
Like
like
if-
beating them to it.
Yeah. If like I don't know, Nike.
Like you would say, I'm
going to
buy Playboy.com before they do. And then when
Right.
they go to try and be Playboy.com, you're like, I can take an offer on that. Yeah, I
Right.
get you.
The
That's why I
original
went to
crew.
various video sharing platforms and made the Illumitami before people could go there and steal me.
It's
Damn
the
it.
original crew, bro. Jack, Tommy, and
shit.
Moose. When I met you guys, you
Moose?
guys were probably
I
together.
called you
Moose,
Moose.
Ah, that's what
He
Damn
high.
it, Joe, you're high again.
Yeah.
I'm. Wait,
We're
ain't that a
still high.
picture of
Damn it,
Moose?
Joe, you're still high.
That's flow. Oh yeah. I'm
Like
still
some
high.
people wake up in the morning and grab a glass of water, he reaches over, lights the blunt.
I do twice throughout the night. I wake up and smoke some, and lay back down.
Oh, but that's what I was gonna say, Jack. I'm glad you brought up Paul and I didn't. Earlier on Benton today, many times I'd referenced how Ian called London Man an energy vampire. And when I went over to see Paul today, as soon as I showed up, he said, "Here's an energy vampire." I was like, "Oh, he doesn't even realize he was watching us all day." And he used that energy by like, when has Paul ever said energy vampire before he did?
I don't know.
Was that Jesse with his girlfriend as a co-host? What a surprise!
It's his
Yes.
50th birthday. She's interviewing him.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I've been trying to share this for a little bit.
He's
This
50?
is the reason
Yeah, right?
actually-
Wow.
This
Yeah,
is
it looks
actually
good.
He's wearing it well.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, a hot
I mean-
chick too.
Yeah, and I had Special K. She was all over Benton's chat going, Illuma, Tommy, you don't look 43. I didn't know you were 43. And now, like, well, Jesse's 50? Damn, got me beat.
I love you guys. I'm gonna shut this down.
Did I do that every time I get here? Damn it, we get shut
No,
down.
That's
it's-
pretty racist. I'm not gonna lie.
God
Joe,
damn
play the
it,
race
Jay.
card.
hey, how about this? Joe, you're the last one out, man. You're
Hey,
the sole
Jack.
survivor.
Love you, man.
Respect, Joe. And please know it's not because of your arrival. I honestly, I want to go support Jesse. This is his
Same, yeah.
his 600th interview, and he's flipping the script a little bit. His beautiful girlfriend Angeline is interviewing him, so he's sharing his story. And
I
wanna
was
share
over
some
there
of
on
it.
his last show, and when he said that she would come and interview him, I was there, and I'd like to go and support him as well.
Amen. I'm gonna
All right.
drop the link for him in the chat. Thank you, Joe, Flo, and all others here. Yes. I'm developing my skills to multitask. So I've been weak on the chat and the panel, and I'm improving. Brothers and sisters, I sincerely, all of you who have been so supportive, genuinely, thank you. You're a part of my experience, and I love living. It's something I never thought I could do. You're a part of that. And maybe, hopefully, I can share some of my love of life with you and encourage you to, you know what, laugh at yourself. Identify those fears within you and laugh. Give a good little chuckle. Bring God's mind into your mind, right? Problems are to be laughed at. Fears have no control. You are here as a divine being, gifted with love, awareness, the technology of life, and senses. So, hey, let me not get long-winded. Brothers and sisters, thank you again sincerely. Please, I encourage you, pop over to how do I do that? Pop over to missing link, share some good wishes there too, if you would. And tomorrow's Friday. And who knows what the future might bring. Stay tuned, do the subscribe thing, turn the notifications on, because life is going to get real. Hey, brothers and sisters, thank you again. Choose love. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. God bless and thank you.